For 35 years, Beatrice Brunner was the deep trance medium for the Christian spiritual community, GL Zürich. Who was this woman who placed her extraordinary mediumship entirely in service to the world of God and enabled teachers from the beyond to deliver approximately 2,400 lectures? Beatrice Brunner was born on the 27th of February 1910 in rural settings above Lake Zurich in Switzerland. Already in early childhood, Beatrice lost both her parents. The 7-year-old girl was taken in and raised by an aunt. As a young woman, Beatrice moved to Zurich and learned the profession of dressmaking at the renowned fashion house Grieder, near Zurich's main train station. After a few years of employment in the fashion house, she started her own family and became the mother of 2 sons. In the economically difficult times of the Second World War, she opened her own sewing studio near Zurich's Bellevue Platz and employed 2 seamstresses. Beatrice Brunner was born with the gift of mediumship. Already as a child, she had experiences of the world beyond. At this time, however, her mediumship was a personal and private matter for her. This changed after her marriage to Arthur Brunner. Born in 1898, Arthur Brunner had been interested in spiritualistic themes and questions of the afterlife since his youth. In 1944, he published a book on life after death, with results from the latest research and evidence of the imperishability of life. Through this publication, a small group of friends with similar interests came together in Zurich in 1945. It was in this context that Beatrice Brunner's special gift for mediumistic deep trance communication was revealed and developed. It was a deep longing for the Brunners and their friends to get answers on important questions of faith. In 1948, a spirit who introduced himself to listeners with the name Joseph manifested for the first time. In the decades that followed, until the death of Beatrice, Joseph was to become their loyal spiritual teacher. Thanks to this connection with spirit teacher Joseph, Beatrice and Arthur Brunner succeeded in building a community that enabled the world beyond to impart a diverse range of knowledge on the wherefrom and whereto of human beings, on the meaning of life and on life after death. The community experienced a rapid development. As early as 1950, services open to the public were held every Saturday evening in the large hall of Zurich's Academy of Music, with a mediumistic address from spirit teacher Joseph. A few years later, another spirit being manifested through the medium of Beatrice, giving listeners the name of Lena. The meditation lectures from spirit teacher Lena took place in the Seefeld area of Zurich, in the first hall owned by the community, the hall on Münchhaldenstrasse. Since 1959, the community has also held an annual meditation week. As of 1966, this lecture week took place in Flims, in the Swiss canton of Graubünden, in the historic hall of the hotel Flims Waldhaus. By the end of the 1970s, the audience numbers had become so large that, for major Christian holidays, services were held in Zurich's Turnhalle. In the autumn of 1983, after a short illness, Beatrice Brunner returned home to the spiritual world at the age of 73. Until a few months before her death, she worked as deep trance medium for the community. During her 35 years of mediumistic activity, she had left behind a spiritual treasure. The majority of the approximately 2,400 German language lectures from the world beyond were recorded on audio tape or video, and are today replayed at services held by the community. The mediumistic activity of Beatrice Brunner is unique in terms of its scope and the diversity of knowledge that it imparted. In spite of her exceptional mediumistic gifts and significance, Beatrice Brunner herself always remained a humble and down-to-earth woman. In addition to her high-standing mediumship, it was her strength of character and clear sense of reason that enabled her to serve as an instrument and medium for the high spirits of God.